Alright, so in today's video, I figured I'd give you guys another story about part of my life. So basically, this story takes place back when I was a young teen, and I'm not going to give out any real names. Matter of fact, I may not say any names, even if it is a fake name. I might just call people by, like, my friend or buddy or just saying shit like that. I'm not just going to throw out names and point fingers. So, the only person I'm going to mention in the story is me. Everybody else is just anonymous. So, but anyway, so pretty much, it was one of my first big, what was it called? Panic attacks on weed. This story to me is pretty funny. I never told anybody about it, so I figured you guys would like to hear it. Basically, back when I was like 13, 14 years old, I'm 30 right now, so you guys do the math. And, well, I'm almost 30. I'll be 30 years old in February, so, with that being said, I was like 13, 14 at the time, so, and I was with a good friend of mine, and he offered me if I wanted to go over to a friend's house that I personally was just acquainted with, but he was more friends with them than I was, and I decided to go with him, to hang out with him, and smoke some weed. And so we went over there, all was great. You know, I knew him, I knew the people there, I just didn't, like, hang out with them, but, we went to school together, we all did, so that's how we knew each other. So anyway, and he had a house, the way it was built, he had a house to where his room was the very top part. And then, it was like 2 bedrooms up top and then downstairs. So it was a pretty small upstairs, from what I can remember. Anyway, we go upstairs into his room, and there's obviously the person who lives there, and there's probably like 3 other friends that are already in the bedroom, right? And they're all already pretty high, but they're ready to pack a lot more weed. And I'm completely sober, and so is my friend that I came with, right? So we get there, we show up, all is well, sit down, hang out, and within very short time, first bowl was being packed and passed. And it was a regular just sized bowl piece, and like a spoon bowl, like a spoon pipe, and that was being passed around a couple of times, and I got my fix, got my high, and then a third bowl went around, and again that went around, that went great and all, and I think after that third bowl there was just a lot of smoke in the air. And, a lot of loud music and all that. And, at first I was doing great. And I was having a good time. And, I was enjoying my high and we were chilling. And, I don't know, it just came out of nowhere. And I just felt like I had to go. And I felt like something not bad was going to happen, but I felt like I had to go. And I remember exactly what I told them, what I wanted to do or what I needed to do, but I pretty much lied to them why I had to go, so I can just go. And it was like in the middle of summertime, so it was relatively like warm out still. And anyway, I leave the bedroom, and now mind you, we just smoked a bunch of weed. So as I'm leaving the room, and obviously the whole room is smoking too. So as I'm leaving the room, like even the friend that I came with is staying behind. Like I'm the only one leaving right now. And as I'm leaving the room and the whole smoke is pouring out of the bedroom and I close it, I think just a wave of fresh air hit me, and I just booked it out of the house, and I grabbed my bike and took off. And it's funny because before I actually left the house, was actually able to exit the house itself, I opened one of the doors, and I thought it was the first door that I went in through, and it wasn't. It was all locked up. And I was super confused why I couldn't open it, but because I was so stoned and I was just kind of panic mode, I wasn't thinking on how to unlock the door. But then I also realized it wasn't even the door that I needed to go through, so then I just closed it back up or whatever, and then went the correct way I was supposed to go, and then I went outside, found my bike, and then took off. And then pretty much to end off this was I biked as fast as I could for some reason to the park, and I don't know, I remember just sitting there at the gazebo just chilling for hours upon hours. I actually, it wasn't that long, probably hour and a half, maybe 2 hours long. And I didn't want to go anywhere because I was too stoned, and I didn't want to go home because my dad was there, and, well, my parents were there, and, yeah, I didn't obviously want them to know I was stoned, so I couldn't go home. So I literally just stayed there at the park and just chilled. And I was really nervous, too, because my dad could have called me anytime during that moment, and I always pick up my phone, especially when it came to my parents, or when it comes to my parents. So I was super nervous if they called me, because then if I didn't answer the phone because I was too high, they would have felt like something even worse was going on, and they wouldn't have known, what was happening, and that would have turned ugly, so I would have had to answer the phone, and I was really, really hoping I didn't have to talk to them stoned, because that would have been a nightmare. But thank God they never called me. I was so happy for that. But yeah, I basically just chilled there for an X amount of time. And then that friend that I went with, he finally hit me up. I guess I don't know if he was done hanging out with them or he was just simply wondering where the heck I went. And when he called me and I answered, he asked me where I was. We just met back up. Not at the park where I was, but we just met back up. And I don't remember what I told him, but he, to this day, has no idea what really happened. And honestly, I don't think I told anybody until now about that story. And I think for a while I was just super embarrassed. But now that I think about it, and so much time has gone by, to me it's now more hilarious than anything else. And the fact that now my parents, because back then they had a totally different mindset toward cannabis than they do now. So yeah, back then it was super strict about having weed, and knowing that they're chill now, it's kind of funny to think how times have changed when it comes to that stuff. But yeah, nobody really knew, because slowly sobered up, and then we just hung out for the rest of the evening, and then I just went home shortly after that, shortly after we hung out for a little bit. So nobody ended up finding out about that, which is really funny to me, because it was pretty scary at the time for me, because I was by myself and I felt like I didn't have any help. But anyway, I just figured I'd share that video with you. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have any stories as well similar to that, or if you want to hear more stories. I have a lot more funny stories like that have happened to me, and just really ridiculous situations that I got myself into. And so I figured to tell you this one because, yeah, like I said, never really told nobody about it. And nowadays I find it hilarious. And yeah. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new for the latest content. Click like if you enjoyed, let me know. And you'll see me in the next one. I don't even know what to label this video. Something to do with story, but this story itself, I don't know what to call it. my first panic attack while stoned or something like that, but that's pretty much what it was, but it's not a really great title at all for that story, so, I don't know what I'm going to throw up for the title, but anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys. Stay awesome.